everyone, to Totally Whiskey and Wine. I'm your host, Jason, and with me, as always, is Zach, our industry professional. And today we have a guest. Oscar is going to be our guest, and today I guess I'm kind of the intermediate in place of James, because James is on vacation, so he's not here with us today. But Oscar's filling in for us.
We're also on vacation, oddly
We
enough.
are. We're at Dice Tower East 2025. We're having some fun, and we decided we would throw together an episode today covering this Penelope Architect. And Zach, why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
So this is a little bit of a special edition bottle. So Penelope, as of late, has been releasing some various particular barrel finishings for their baseline. Mm-hmm. So we saw this originally with their Toasted series. They did a Toasted Marshmallow. Mm-hmm. And so this is the second of the line, I believe, where they're doing their oak scan technology to determine like a barrel that may influence their whiskey to have certain flavors. Mm-hmm. And so this is the Architect Creme Brulee, which is starting to make its rounds around the United States. So we ended up paying $63 for this particular bottle after tax and everything was said and done. As far as the way this whiskey is made, it's a 4-year-old whiskey. Mash bill is 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley, 110 proof. Cool thing is they not only toast and char the barrel, but they also they char the head of the barrel as well. They're getting more contact with those caramelized sugars on the barrel, so that's probably influencing the sweetness of this. Mm-hmm. Tonnellaire Radot is a Frenchman who is supplying the barrels and in collaboration on this particular project. Oh, all right. That's a lot of whiskey facts, but
all right.
Expect to see more of these. Penelope is whipping out some very particularly good products made by Lux Row. They own Penelope, by the way.
All right. Okay, so without further ado, what did we score this? Drum roll, please. $76. That's right. We gave it an overall 76. But how did we come about that? Well, the way we score things is we all blind taste them and then score in 4 categories, 1 to 25 points in each category for nose, mouthfeel, flavor, and finally the finish. Once we have our scores, we add them all together to get our total, and then we average out our scores in order to get our final score. So that's how we came about the 76. But let's talk a little bit about the individual categories. And we'll start with the nose. And I'll go ahead and start us out. I gave it a 22 on the nose. It was very enjoyable for me. I picked up, definitely you could get the sweetness of it. I know Zach mentioned they already have a toasted marshmallow, but for me, that is kind of what I got off of it, that toasted, kind of sugary sweet, which more could be a burnt sugar, like like a creme brulee, which exactly what it's called, creme brulee. So I kind of got that burnt sugar from it. I also did get some oak coming off of it, which I enjoyed. There are some that I like better, but this was definitely up there. It's very good, and I give it a 22.
Oscar, you go ahead next.
Mm-hmm. I would like to piggyback off of Jason. I personally gave the smell 10. I feel like just because of the name and what it was describing towards us, I would feel like I would smell more and doing the mouth open and just getting more of those hints. The sugar, 1,000%. I could get that burnt sugar, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Now, I wish I would like, in my personal opinion, my whiskeys, I do like to taste more of like the barrel and like the oakiness to it. So I would like to I like to smell that a little bit more. That's the only reason why I gave it a 10. But besides that, overall, it was a pretty nice smelling. Like, I wouldn't mind smelling this just on a casual night, just drinking. Yeah. Like it's a great smell.
It's got a good nose.
It's a good nose.
Zach.
So I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off of the piggyback. Yes, burnt sugars for sure. Mm-hmm. Plenty of barrel influence. I gotta disagree with you here, Oscar. There is plenty of oak.
Yeah.
It's not just like biting into a piece of bark, but this is, you get the caramelized sugars, you get that oil from the oak, but you're also getting like chocolates, rich custard. There's a lot of complexity to this whiskey on the nose, and for that, I gave it a 23. Like, this is a really standout nose. As advertised, this smells like creme brulee. In all of the best ways. This doesn't smell like peanut butter whiskey.
No, it definitely doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is a whiskey that they said, you know what, this smells like creme
Creme
brulee,
brulee, yeah.
and then they
And
fucking slapped on the label.
Yeah.
and it's not. I will say it's not an artificial smell
No,
either. It's like it's there.
It's like they made whiskey in a creme brulee factory.
Yeah. It very much, I think, lives up to its name in that. That's why I scored as high as I did as well.
Yeah.
So that was the nose. Let's move on to mouthfeel.
Ooh.
And Oscar, why don't you start us off with mouthfeel? What did you think?
Mouthfeel, I gave it a 17. Honestly, it was a nice evenly coating. I could taste all the flavors like as it went around the mouth. It wasn't too much of a burn, and honestly, it was very smooth.
Nice.
Surprisingly, I really liked the smoothness of it. It coated evenly. You could get every hint like on your cheek sometimes, and mainly on the tongue. The tongue had like a flavor explosion.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong; it was like you got knocked in the mouth when that hit your tongue. Oh, it was beautiful.
Nice. All right, Zach, why don't you hit it?
Yeah, so as far as mouthfeel, I went ahead and scored it a 22. This is a delightful medium-bodied whiskey where it's going to evenly coat the palate, and it's not going to be too aggressive in any one direction. This is something that very thoroughly just enriches the palate. With that, as you're going ahead and drinking it, warm burn along the sides of the throat the whole way down, leaving you a nice warm Kentucky hug the more you drink it. This is something, not to call it campfire whiskey, but this is something that like you could bring to any occasion and everyone's going to appreciate it.
Oh,
I agree.
1000%.
Like this is just super easy.
Yep.
Unless they're like fruity bullshit people, this is such a easy whiskey.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you on this. I scored it a 20, so slightly lower than Zach, but I definitely felt that if you guys have been following the channel and watching, you know I like kind of that rye burn, and for a bourbon, this is a kind of a rye heavy bourbon, and it does have that kind of nice rye burn that I enjoy. I felt it through my mouth, pretty consistent, and kind of going down to the back of the throat, down into the chest a little bit. Nice warmth. I enjoyed it, and that's why I gave it a 20. All right, so moving on to the next category, flavor. I'll go ahead and hit flavor. I'm going to say a 19 on flavor. That was the lowest score I gave it because, you know, for me, again, not as well-defined palate as Zach. And I'm not sure, as Oscar, this is kind of the first time we've brought him in on this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for me, the flavors were good. I had a hard time picking out individual flavors personally, but I really did enjoy the overall flavor. I just had trouble picking out individual things and naming them. So I enjoyed it, but for me, it could have been a little bit stronger in certain flavors that would have made it stand out, but that's just me. So, Zach, why don't you continue?
Okay. So you say you don't have a refined palate, but you and I scored this exactly the same at a 19.
Okay.
So, with the flavors of this, it keeps developing alongside the palate, but not the palate, the nose, but not in a very strong manner. So it subdues itself, where you get these very rich and bombastic notes on the nose. The palate is a little bit softer, more tame. Notes of cinnamon. You get oak, obviously.
I did get the oak. I will say that. I did get the oak.
Oils. Like, this is something that, after coming off the nose, like if I had a Yankee Candle of the nose, I'd be set for life. I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah.
The palate itself, it tends to have a little bit more to be desired. And this may just be that it's a 4-year-old whiskey.
Yeah.
So maybe if it was left in the oven a little bit longer, they would go ahead and develop a little bit more of those flavors.
Okay.
But actually, I'm looking at the back of the bottle. That says 5 years. Their website and their bottle have contradictory statements here. Maybe it's a blend of 4 and 5-year-old whiskey.
Maybe. Yeah.
Who knows? Either way, I think a little bit more time in the oven would have helped the palate. I don't know if that's going to ruin the nose on a product like this because it is so sweet. But I just want more on the palate. And I guess you can't expect much out of young whiskey like this. So maybe that's false expectations. But regardless, it scores well at 19.
Yeah, and I will say, again, that nice rye burn. The other thing is this is, I don't know if you mentioned it before, but it is 110 proof or 55 ABV. So it's a little stronger than some of the other things that we've reviewed on the channel, which that slightly higher proof is going to give you more of a burn, which I enjoy. So what about you, Oscar? What'd you give
For
it?
me, the flavor, was a 16. Don't get me wrong. I like the flavor. The aging was nice. You get the different hints. But like you were saying, Jason, I couldn't agree with you more when you were coming out with that statement. There's too many complexities in the
to pick them out.
Yeah, to do
I could get oak, but that's about it.
Yeah, I get that 1,000%. Like I got a little bit of the sugar, but then it was just like mainly oak. And with the mouth, like going back to a little bit to like the mouth feeling a little bit. Yeah, it covered nicely, but I feel like it kind of took away from the flavor and the fact that I wish I could taste a little bit more, and maybe that could be from what Zach was saying, that if it was aged maybe just a little bit longer, it could bring out better notes.
And it become a little more subtle maybe at that time, where with the rest of it become a little more subtle and bring out the flavor more.
So, well, this may be one thing to discuss generally about the whiskey is like, I mean, this is, it says 5 years old on the bottle. I'll believe that. It's 5 years old.
Yeah.
At the price point it's at 5 years, if this was a 7 or 8 year old whiskey, this would be like
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, for its price point, I agree. That's
not what I'm trying to get at with being appropriately priced. But I'm just trying to say, like, the product that they're trying to sell you is like an everyday, like creme brulee.
Yeah.
Like anybody will go into like a Walmart liquor store and grab this because it says creme brulee.
Yeah.
Would you do it if it was said $120 on the price tag?
I would give it a shot. I would give it a shot, but if it was $120 and it was 8 years, 9 years, and had that little more subdued.
Well, you won't know how that tastes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trying to pick it up.
That's true. I'm just saying. If ideally, if it did subdue it a little bit and bring out a little more flavor, then yes, I think it would be worth the price at that point.
Yeah.
But at the current price that it is, I think this is a great value.
Yeah, it's not bad. The price, the flavor, the smell is not bad at all.
Yeah. I guess let's get to the finish, Jason.
All right. So the finish. I'll go ahead and start us off with the finish. I am going to say right here, I love the finish. I won't say perfect, but it was getting damn close. I give it a 23 out of 25. I really liked it. Lingered for me. It stayed with me. I still feel it in my throat. Yeah, I know I just took a sip probably like a minute and a half ago. But that's because it makes me want to come back. And that's, for me, a good finish. Yeah, a good finish is something I want to keep drinking this. I enjoy it. I really like it. And that finish leaves me with that I want more feeling. And that nice, warm Kentucky hug right in the chest up here. I'm feeling it. I enjoy that. It's a great feeling. That's why I gave it a 23.
Okay.
What do you think, Oscar?
It's tough. So, my personal opinion, I gave it a 15.
Okay.
I feel like after drinking a little bit more, I would go a little bit higher on it, but I don't know if it's me, myself personally, and how I've been reacting to the whiskey, but I'm not getting that lingering burn feeling that I really like when it comes to certain whiskeys, and it could just be me personally. It could be me. I don't know. But I do get the burning, and you can feel it going down your neck and down your throat a little bit, but it's just not as big of a hit as I thought it was going to be.
Well, I think you're like me, and you kind of like the strong higher proof rye, that burn. Yeah. So that would make sense.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing. But besides that, to be wrong, the full body of it and just getting everything put in at once and getting that just nice coat as it goes down, honestly, still not bad for the price. I'm not gonna lie. Like I would buy this if I was just going to a small group with friends and they're like, we want to try whiskey. I'm like, this is something nice. It's not too bad of a burn. It'll coat very nicely, and then they would enjoy it. Yeah. For the price point, they'd be like, I'd buy a bottle.
Oh yeah. Zach?
Well, my finishing score is 21.
Okay.
So this is something that, I mean, as I'm still sitting here, like, I'm getting whispers of those sugars. And in all honesty, this is something that I was very envious of my friend who ended up getting that toasted marshmallow because I couldn't find a barrel.
Oh.
There was
was that James or Jorge? James.
I don't know if Jorge got one. But there is a lot less of that than there is of this. Mm-hmm. So you should have an easier time getting a couple bottles of this. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not going to say rush to get it because I hate feeding into FOMO.
Yeah.
Especially on limited release products like this.
Yeah.
But like this is something that I think Penelope truly has struck gold in the last couple of years and really hit their stride with their like limited batch series. Like with the Cooper series, like the Rio we did was phenomenal.
Yeah, yep, that
The
was
Havana you
the
tried was
Havana.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
Valencia is fantastic. The Rosé
We haven't done that one yet.
not on channel.
Yeah.
Now. I've had it, but I mean, like all of these products they're putting out, and even their normal weeded and toasted and the barrel strength, are just really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I am not a like Penelope fanboy, but I definitely think that they have come up with some good stuff lately. Some really good stuff.
And not to say like they're a top 5 distiller for me.
No,
they're not. But like I can't deny the consistency that if I know that Penelope puts out something new, I'm going to enjoy it one way or another.
Yeah.
And maybe for different reasons. Like this is very sweet, and Valencia is very fruity, and I may do a single barrel pick in its tequila finish. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what they end up producing. I end up enjoying these. And I can only expect more good things to come from them if this is the quality that they're producing at this sub $100 price tag.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm happy with it. That's the easiest way to say this. This is an easy buy.
Absolutely. All right. And don't forget, you can probably find this at ABC Liquor. No.
I got this at Publix.
Really?
What?
I was gonna say that you might actually have it at ABC, but what about? I wonder if Gas Bars has it. I don't know.
Gas Bars.
Gas Bars usually has some good stuff.
For relevancy, guys, Gas Bars in Tampa is very good at having like very hard to find whiskey, not allocated stuff,
but still,
but like older releases of things. I'm not sure if they would have this casually on hand. Like this is something that is mass production. We're in the Florida market, obviously.
Yeah.
Because we're mentioning the word Publix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For everyone not in Florida, sorry, Publix is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Publix Liquor is the only place I've seen this. I'm sure
I'm surprised at that.
Walmart's.
I'm surprised at that.
Costco's and Sam's. I don't know. It's not an ABC. I haven't checked Total Wine. But in the Florida market, Publix has been the easiest place to find this.
Honestly, for the accessibility, for being at a Publix, that's not bad for the price.
No,
well, Publix is good about picking up those things.
And that's the thing.
Not to get off topic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not to get off topic, but like, let's say you're like, honestly, for no one who knows a good amount of whiskey, I enjoy my whiskeys just fine. But like, to get people to try it for the first time, that's not a bad buy.
No.
And for the price point and the accessibility, that's not bad.
No.
Well, you know what? Maybe that'd be another episode we do is whiskeys for beginners.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that was it. 76 for Penelope Architect Creme Brulee. And whatever you guys are drinking, we hope you enjoy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Lunch.